길게 말하기 총정리. 5 조동사 현재 완료 패턴의 개념을 여기서 꼭 잡아가세요. 이제 이 패턴으로 여러 가지 표현을 해보자.
must have,
뭐뭐였음에 틀림없어. 뭐뭐였겠네. 과거 분사로 이어집니다.
걔가 기차를 놓쳤겠네.
He must have missed the train.
He must have missed the train.
어젯밤에 비 왔나 보네.
It must have rained last night.
It must have rained last night.
회의가 지금쯤에는 끝났겠다.
The meeting must have ended by now.
The meeting must have ended by now.
걔들 공항에 도착했겠다.
They must have arrived at the airport.
They must have arrived at the airport.
걔가 아팠나 보네.
She must have been sick.
She must have been sick.
걔 여친 있었나 보네.
He must have had a boyfriend.
He must have had a boyfriend.
너 열심히 연습했나 보네.
You must have practiced really hard.
You must have practiced really hard.
걔 분명 담배 끊었어.
He must have quit smoking.
He must have quit smoking.
네가 배가 고팠겠구나.
You must have been hungry.
You must have been hungry.
그는 좋은 사람임에 틀림없어.
He must have been a good man.
He must have been a good man.
네가 피곤했겠구나.
You must have been tired.
You must have been tired.
그분 분명 승진했을 거야.
He must have gotten promoted.
He must have gotten promoted.
내가 집에 폰을 두고 왔나 보네.
I must have left my phone at home.
I must have left my phone at home.
나 지갑을 차 안에 두고 왔나 봐.
I must have left my wallet in the car.
I must have left my wallet in the car.
걔가 버스 잘못 탄 게 틀림없네.
He must have taken the wrong bus.
He must have taken the wrong bus.
걔가 지금쯤이면 그 소식을 들었겠네.
He must have heard the news by now.
He must have heard the news by now.
그 사람들 정말 힘들었겠다.
They must have had a hard time.
They must have had a hard time.
너 집에 있었나 보네.
You must have stayed at home.
You must have stayed at home.
너 좀 지루했나 보네.
You must have been a little bored.
You must have been a little bored.
너 외국에서 공부했나 보네.
You must have studied abroad.
You must have studied abroad.
지금쯤이면 점심 식사 다 하셨겠네요.
You must have finished your lunch by now.
You must have finished your lunch by now.
그 식당은 오늘 하루 영업을 마쳤겠다.
The restaurant must have closed for the day.
The restaurant must have closed for the day.
너 우유 사는 거 까먹은 거네.
You must have forgotten to buy milk.
You must have forgotten to buy milk.
아기가 이미 잠들었겠네.
The baby must have fallen asleep already.
The baby must have fallen asleep already.
너 예전에 고양이 키워봤겠네.
You must have had cats before.
You must have had cats before.
우리 엄마가 저녁하셨을 거야.
My mom must have cooked dinner.
My mom must have cooked dinner.
너도 이것에 대해 생각해 본 적 있겠네.
You must have thought about this too.
You must have thought about this too.
너 이 게임 해봤겠네.
You must have played this game.
You must have played this game.
네가 차 안에 불 켜놓고 온 게 분명해.
You must have left the lights on in the car.
You must have left the lights on in the car.
너 빨랑불에 지나갔다니까.
You must have run a red light.
You must have run a red light.
그 사람이 내 메일을 받았다니까.
He must have received my email.
He must have received my email.
그분들 공항까지 택시 탔을 거야.
They must have taken a taxi to the airport.
They must have taken a taxi to the airport.
너 그거 안 산 거 후회했겠네.
You must have regretted not buying it.
You must have regretted not buying it.
너 이미 결혼했겠네.
You must have been married already.
You must have been married already.
영화가 지금쯤 시작했겠네.
The movie must have started by now.
The movie must have started by now.
콘서트가 분명 매진됐을 거야.
The concert must have been sold out.
The concert must have been sold out.
걔가 분명 반장이겠네.
He must have been the class president.
He must have been the class president.
너 많이 아팠겠구나.
You must have been seriously sick.
You must have been seriously sick.
너 틀림없이 기타 배워봤겠네.
You must have learned to play the guitar.
You must have learned to play the guitar.
걔는 중고차 말고 분명 새 차 샀을걸.
He must have bought a new car, not a used one.
He must have bought a new car, not a used one.
내가 차 안에 불 켜놓고 온 게 분명해.
I must have left the lights on in my car.
I must have left the lights on in my car.
우리 엄마가 탁자에 메모 남겼을 거야.
My mom must have left a note on the table.
My mom must have left a note on the table.
너 우산 식당에 놓고 왔을 거야.
You must have left your umbrella at the restaurant.
You must have left your umbrella at the restaurant.
걔 분명 알람 키는 거 까먹었나 보네.
He must have forgotten to set the alarm.
He must have forgotten to set the alarm.
너 틀림없이 밤샜나 보네.
You must have stayed up all night.
You must have stayed up all night.
네가 날 다른 사람으로 착각했던 게 틀림없네.
You must have me mistaken for somebody else.
You must have me mistaken for somebody else.
걔들 분명 지금 교통정체 중이겠네.
They must have been stuck in traffic.
They must have been stuck in traffic.
그 가게 크리스마스에는 분명 일찍 문을 닫았을 거야.
The store must have closed early on Christmas.
The store must have closed early on Christmas.
그때 교통사고가 크게 났음에 틀림없어.
That must have been a serious car accident.
That must have been a serious car accident.
지금쯤이면 틀림없이 한국이 일본을 3대 0으로 이겼을 거야.
Korea must have beaten Japan 3-0 by now.
Korea must have beaten Japan 3-0 by now.
이제 이 패턴으로 여러 가지 표현을 해보자.
Might have.
뭐뭐였을지 몰라, 뭐뭐했을지 몰라, 과거 분사로 이어집니다.
걔가 까먹었을지도 몰라.
She may have forgotten.
She may have forgotten.
내가 열쇠를 두고 왔을지 모르겠네.
I might have left my keys.
I might have left my keys.
그가 기차를 놓쳤을지도 몰라.
He may have missed the train.
He may have missed the train.
네가 오해했을지도 모르겠네.
You might have misunderstood.
You might have misunderstood.
택배가 도착했을지도 몰라.
The package may have arrived.
The package may have arrived.
회의가 취소되었을지 몰라.
The meeting might have been canceled.
The meeting might have been canceled.
기차가 지연되었을지도 모르겠네.
The train may have been delayed.
The train may have been delayed.
네가 잘못 뒀을지도 모르지.
You might have misplaced it.
You might have misplaced it.
그가 길을 잃었을지도 모르겠네.
He may have lost his way.
He may have lost his way.
콘서트가 취소되었을지도 몰라.
The concert might have been canceled.
The concert might have been canceled.
내가 널 과소평가했을지도 모르겠군.
I may have underestimated you.
I may have underestimated you.
네가 간과했을지도 모르지.
You might have overlooked.
You might have overlooked.
손님들이 도착했을지도 몰라.
The guests may have arrived.
The guests may have arrived.
나 지갑을 차 안에 두고 왔을지도 몰라.
I might have left my wallet in the car.
I might have left my wallet in the car.
걔가 버스 잘못 탔을지도 몰라.
He may have taken the wrong bus.
He may have taken the wrong bus.
걔가 지금쯤이면 그 소식을 들었을지도 모르지.
He might have heard the news by now.
He might have heard the news by now.
그들이 연기하기로 결정했을지도 모르지.
They may have decided to postpone.
They may have decided to postpone.
제가 일정을 오해했을지도 모르겠네요.
I might have misunderstood the schedule.
I might have misunderstood the schedule.
네가 좀 지루했을지도 모르겠네.
You may have been a little bored.
You may have been a little bored.
나 사무실에 폰 두고 왔을지 모르겠네.
I might have left my phone at the office.
I might have left my phone at the office.
그가 지금쯤이면 점심 식사 다 했을지도 몰라.
He may have finished his lunch by now.
He may have finished his lunch by now.
그 식당 하루 영업을 마쳤을지도 몰라.
The restaurant might have closed for the day.
The restaurant might have closed for the day.
영화가 이미 시작되었을지도 몰라.
The movie may have started already.
The movie may have started already.
그가 알람 설정을 까먹었을지도 모르겠네.
He might have forgotten to set the alarm.
He might have forgotten to set the alarm.
이메일이 잘못된 주소로 보내졌을지 모르겠네.
The email may have been sent to the wrong address.
The email may have been sent to the wrong address.
우리 엄마가 지금쯤이면 저녁하셨을지도 모르겠네.
My mom might have cooked dinner by now.
My mom might have cooked dinner by now.
너도 이것에 대해 생각해봤을지도 모르겠네.
You may have thought about this too.
You may have thought about this too.
너 이 게임 해봤을지 모르겠네.
You might have played this game.
You might have played this game.
네가 차 안에 불 켜놓고 왔을지 모르겠네.
You may have left the lights on in the car.
You may have left the lights on in the car.
내가 빨간불에 지나갔을지도 모르겠네.
I might have run a red light.
I might have run a red light.
그 사람이 내 메일을 받았을지도 모르겠네.
He may have received my email.
He may have received my email.
내가 공원에 모자를 두고 왔을지도 몰라.
I might have left my hat at the park.
I might have left my hat at the park.
걔 그거 안 산 거 후회했을지 몰라.
She may have regretted not buying it.
She may have regretted not buying it.
그분들 아마 결혼했을지 몰라.
They might have been married already.
They might have been married already.
영화가 지금쯤 끝났을지도 몰라.
The movie may have ended by now.
The movie may have ended by now.
콘서트가 매진됐을지도 모르지.
The concert might have been sold out.
The concert might have been sold out.
너가 세부 사항을 간과했을지도 모르지.
You may have overlooked a detail.
You may have overlooked a detail.
걔가 많이 아팠을지도 모르겠네.
He might have been seriously sick.
He might have been seriously sick.
너 기타 배워봤을지도 모르겠는데.
You may have learned to play the guitar.
You may have learned to play the guitar.
걔는 중고차 말고 아마 새 차 샀을지도 몰라.
He might have bought a new car, not a used one.
He might have bought a new car, not a used one.
그들이 이미 발표를 시작했을지도 모르겠네.
They might have already started the presentation.
They might have already started the presentation.
우리 아빠가 책상에 아마 메모 남겼을지 모르겠네.
My dad might have left a note on the desk.
My dad might have left a note on the desk.
너 우산 식당에 놓고 왔을지도 모르겠네.
You may have left your umbrella at the restaurant.
You may have left your umbrella at the restaurant.
걔가 회의를 잊어버렸을지도 모르겠군.
She might have forgotten the meeting.
She might have forgotten the meeting.
그녀가 내 메시지를 오해했을지도 모르겠네.
She may have misunderstood my message.
She may have misunderstood my message.
네가 날 다른 사람으로 착각했을지도 모르겠네.
You might have me mistaken for somebody else.
You might have me mistaken for somebody else.
우리가 중요한 세부 사항을 놓친 것일지도 몰라.
We may have overlooked an important detail.
We may have overlooked an important detail.
고양이가 꽃병을 넘어뜨렸을지도 모르지.
The cat might have knocked over the vase.
The cat might have knocked over the vase.
책이 책장에 잘못 놓였을지도 몰라.
The book may have been misplaced on the shelf.
The book may have been misplaced on the shelf.
그 메일이 스팸으로 표시된 것일지도 모르지.
The email might have been marked as spam.
The email might have been marked as spam.
이제 이 패턴으로 여러 가지 표현을 해보자.
Should have PB.
뭐뭐 했는 게 나았을 텐데, 뭐뭐 했어야 했는데, 뭐뭐 할걸.
너에게 전화할 걸 그랬어.
I should have called you.
I should have called you.
지금쯤이면 끝냈어야지.
You should have finished by now.
You should have finished by now.
우리 더 일찍 갈 걸 그랬어.
We should have left earlier.
We should have left earlier.
그는 사과해야 했어.
He should have apologized.
He should have apologized.
네가 더 공부를 했어야지.
You should have studied more.
You should have studied more.
나 그거 그냥 살 걸 그랬나 봐.
I should have just bought it.
I should have just bought it.
네가 제 차 확인했어야지.
You should have double-checked.
You should have double-checked.
코트 입을 걸 그랬나?
I should have worn a coat.
I should have worn a coat.
예약을 해야 했는데.
I should have reserved.
I should have reserved.
불 끄고 나왔어야지.
You should have turned off the lights.
You should have turned off the lights.
네가 나한테 물어봤어야지.
You should have asked me.
You should have asked me.
돈 좀 아낄 걸 그랬어.
I should have saved some money.
I should have saved some money.
네가 사과했어야지.
You should have apologized.
You should have apologized.
일찍 좀 잘 걸 그랬네.
I should have gone to bed early.
I should have gone to bed early.
말 좀 적게 할 걸 그랬나 봐.
I should have said less.
I should have said less.
좀 적게 먹을 걸 그랬어.
I should have eaten less.
I should have eaten less.
화내지 말 걸 그랬네.
I shouldn't have been angry.
I shouldn't have been angry.
짜증내지 말 걸 그랬어.
I shouldn't have got cross.
I shouldn't have got cross.
네가 그 영화 봐야 했다니까.
You should have seen the movie.
You should have seen the movie.
지금쯤이면 비가 그쳤어야지.
It should have stopped raining by now.
It should have stopped raining by now.
우리가 그 기차를 탔어야 했어.
We should have taken the train.
We should have taken the train.
네 충고를 들을 걸 그랬네.
I should have listened to your advice.
I should have listened to your advice.
표를 미리 살 걸 그랬나 봐.
I should have bought the tickets in advance.
I should have bought the tickets in advance.
더 따뜻하게 입을 걸 그랬네.
I should have dressed warmer.
I should have dressed warmer.
우리 길을 물어볼 걸 그랬나 봐.
We should have asked for directions.
We should have asked for directions.
더 큰 사이즈로 살 걸 그랬나 봐.
I should have bought a larger size.
I should have bought a larger size.
우리 돈을 더 많이 아껴 써야 했어.
We should have saved more money.
We should have saved more money.
우산을 가져올 걸 그랬네.
I should have brought an umbrella.
I should have brought an umbrella.
지붕을 고쳤어야 될 거 아니야.
You should have repaired the roof.
You should have repaired the roof.
보고서를 마무리했어야지.
You should have finished the report.
You should have finished the report.
간식 좀 더 챙겨오지 그랬냐?
You should have packed more snacks.
You should have packed more snacks.
그 회의에 참석할 걸 그랬네.
I should have attended the meeting.
I should have attended the meeting.
그냥 안 된다고 했었어야지.
You should have just said no.
You should have just said no.
야식을 안 먹었어야 했는데.
I shouldn't have had a late night snack.
I shouldn't have had a late night snack.
그니까 엄마 말을 들었어야지.
You should have listened to your mom.
You should have listened to your mom.
방을 미리 예약해둘 걸 그랬네.
I should have booked the room in advance.
I should have booked the room in advance.
이 선물을 사지 말 걸 그랬어.
I shouldn't have bought this gift.
I shouldn't have bought this gift.
신분증을 가지고 왔었어야지.
You should have brought your ID card.
You should have brought your ID card.
술을 그렇게 많이 마시지 말았어야지.
You shouldn't have drunk so much.
You shouldn't have drunk so much.
늦게까지 안 자고 있지 말 걸 그랬네.
I shouldn't have stayed up late.
I shouldn't have stayed up late.
더 조심했어야지.
You should have been more careful.
You should have been more careful.
절대로 말하지 말았어야지.
You never should have said it.
You never should have said it.
월급을 다 쓰지 말았어야지.
You shouldn't have spent your salary.
You shouldn't have spent your salary.
아무 말도 하지 말 걸 그랬네.
I shouldn't have said anything.
I shouldn't have said anything.
그때 네가 일자리 제안을 받았어야지.
You should have been offered a job then.
You should have been offered a job then.
건강에 신경을 썼었어야지.
You should have taken care of your health.
You should have taken care of your health.
그냥 못한다고 말했어야지.
You should have just said you can't do it.
You should have just said you can't do it.
그만하라고 할 때 그만했어야지.
You should have stopped when I told you to.
You should have stopped when I told you to.
처음부터 사실대로 말했어야지.
You should have told the truth from the beginning.
You should have told the truth from the beginning.
그냥 아침을 먹고 올 걸 그랬네.
I should have just had breakfast.
I should have just had breakfast.
이제 이 패턴으로 여러 가지 표현을 해보자.
Have you ever?
뭐뭐 해본 적 있어? 과거 분사로 이어집니다.
그 시험에 통과할 수도 있었을 텐데.
I could have passed the exam.
I could have passed the exam.
숙제를 더 빨리 끝낼 수 있었을 텐데.
I could have finished my homework earlier.
I could have finished my homework earlier.
그건 오해일 수도 있었어.
It could have been a misunderstanding.
It could have been a misunderstanding.
더 나빴을 수도 있었어.
It could have been worse.
It could have been worse.
제주도로 여행할 수도 있었어.
I could have traveled to Jeju.
I could have traveled to Jeju.
나 픽업해 줄 수도 있었잖아.
You could have picked me up.
You could have picked me up.
나한테 좀 더 일찍 말해줄 수도 있었잖아.
You could have told me earlier.
You could have told me earlier.
우리가 경기에 이길 수도 있었는데.
We could have won the game.
We could have won the game.
내가 스타가 될 수도 있었다니까.
I could have been a star.
I could have been a star.
파티에 갈 수도 있었거든.
I could have gone to the party.
I could have gone to the party.
더 잘 할 수도 있었는데.
I could have done better.
I could have done better.
그 차 살 수도 있었어.
I could have bought the car.
I could have bought the car.
날 좀 도와줄 수도 있었잖아.
You could have helped me.
You could have helped me.
돈을 좀 더 아낄 수 있었을 텐데.
I could have saved more money.
I could have saved more money.
도와달라고 할 수도 있었지.
I could have asked for help.
I could have asked for help.
나 거기서 죽을 수도 있었어.
I could have died there.
I could have died there.
농담에 웃어줄 수도 있었잖아.
You could have laughed at the joke.
You could have laughed at the joke.
네가 직접 할 수도 있었잖아.
You could have done that yourself.
You could have done that yourself.
날 위해 좀 남겨줄 수도 있었잖아.
You could have left some for me.
You could have left some for me.
오늘 늦잠 잘 수도 있었는데.
I could have slept in today.
I could have slept in today.
피자 다 먹을 수도 있었어.
I could have eaten all the pizza.
I could have eaten all the pizza.
사실대로 말해 줄 수도 있었지.
I could have told me the truth.
I could have told me the truth.
차로 널 데려다 줄 수도 있었는데.
I could have driven you home.
I could have driven you home.
내 말을 더 들어줄 수도 있었잖아.
You could have listened to me more.
You could have listened to me more.
성탄에 눈 올 수도 있었는데.
It could have snowed on Christmas.
It could have snowed on Christmas.
비행기 잡을 수 있었을 텐데.
I could have caught that flight.
I could have caught that flight.
그거 온라인으로 살 수도 있었어.
I could have gotten them online.
I could have gotten them online.
난 거절할 수도 있었을 것 같은데.
I could have said no.
I could have said no.
우린 친구가 될 수도 있었지.
We could have been friends.
We could have been friends.
너 잘릴 수도 있었어.
You could have lost your job.
You could have lost your job.
전혀 상상도 할 수 없었어.
I never could have imagined.
I never could have imagined.
나 절대 거짓말도 할 수 없었어.
I never could have lied.
I never could have lied.
우린 절대 정상에 도달할 수 없었어.
We never could have reached the top.
We never could have reached the top.
난 절대 혼자 이루어낼 수 없었어.
I never could have made it alone.
I never could have made it alone.
난 절대로 걔들을 떠날 수 없었어.
I never could have left them.
I never could have left them.
절대로 체스에서 걔를 이길 수 없었어.
I never could have beaten him at chess.
I never could have beaten him at chess.
난 절대로 그를 용서할 수 없었어.
I never could have forgiven him.
I never could have forgiven him.
난 그 결과를 절대 예측할 수가 없었어.
I never could have predicted the outcome.
I never could have predicted the outcome.
절대 마라톤 완주할 수가 없었어.
I never could have finished the marathon.
I never could have finished the marathon.
전혀 내 맘을 바꿀 수가 없었어.
I never could have changed my mind.
I never could have changed my mind.
이게 어떻게 일어날 수 있었을까?
How could this have happened?
How could this have happened?
어떻게 이런 일이 생길 줄 몰랐을까?
How could I have not seen this coming?
How could I have not seen this coming?
우리가 어떻게 게임에서 질 수 있었을까?
How could we have lost the game?
How could we have lost the game?
너의 생일을 어떻게 잊을 수 있지?
How could I have forgotten your birthday?
How could I have forgotten your birthday?
어떻게 그 소문을 믿을 수 있었던 거냐?
How could you have believed that rumor?
How could you have believed that rumor?
어떻게 알람 켜놓고도 잠이 든 거지?
How could I have slept through my alarm?
How could I have slept through my alarm?
어떻게 폰을 집에 두고 온 걸까?
How could I have left my phone at home?
How could I have left my phone at home?
어떻게 전에는 이걸 몰랐을까?
How could I have not known about it?
How could I have not known about it?
어떻게 다시 시도 안 할 수가 있니?
How could you have not tried again?
How could you have not tried again?
내가 어떻게 해낼 수 있다고 생각했을까?
How could I have believed I could make it?
How could I have believed I could make it?
이제 이 패턴으로 여러 가지 표현을 해보자.
Would have PB.
뭐뭐였을 텐데, 뭐뭐였을 거야, 뭐뭐였을 걸.
너도 좋아했을 거야.
You would have liked it.
You would have liked it.
참 좋았을 거야.
That would have been great.
That would have been great.
내가 도왔을 텐데.
I would have helped you.
I would have helped you.
우리가 이겼을 텐데 말야.
We would have won.
We would have won.
우리 기차를 놓쳤을 거야.
We would have missed the train.
We would have missed the train.
넌 괜찮다고 했을 거야.
You would have said okay.
You would have said okay.
내가 바로 전화했을 거야.
I would have called you back.
I would have called you back.
넌 분명 안 된다고 할걸?
You definitely would have said no.
You definitely would have said no.
내가 너한테 말했겠지?
I would have told you.
I would have told you.
내가 그거 샀을 거야.
I would have bought it.
I would have bought it.
더 좋았을 거야.
It would have been better.
It would have been better.
넌 성공했을 거야.
You would have succeeded.
You would have succeeded.
어쨌든 상관은 없었을 거야.
I wouldn't have mattered anyway.
I wouldn't have mattered anyway.
난 안 된다고 그랬을 거야.
I would have said no.
I would have said no.
넌 지루해 했을 거야.
You would have been boring.
You would have been boring.
내가 파티에 갔을 텐데.
I would have gone to the party.
I would have gone to the party.
우리 제 시간에 도착했을 텐데.
We would have arrived on time.
We would have arrived on time.
너도 재미있었을 텐데.
You would have had fun.
You would have had fun.
내가 인사를 했겠지?
I would have said hello.
I would have said hello.
넌 밤새 울었을 거야.
You would have cried all night.
You would have cried all night.
난 끝까지 시도했을 거야.
I would have tried until the end.
I would have tried until the end.
넌 제대로 일하지 못했을 거야.
You wouldn't have worked properly.
You wouldn't have worked properly.
넌 기억하지 못했을 거야.
You wouldn't have remembered it.
You wouldn't have remembered it.
넌 그거 신경 안 썼을 거야.
You wouldn't have cared about it.
You wouldn't have cared about it.
넌 시도조차 하지 않았을 거야.
You wouldn't even have tried.
You wouldn't even have tried.
그래봤자 난 시험에 통과하지 못했을 거야.
I wouldn't have passed the exam anyway.
I wouldn't have passed the exam anyway.
난 지금까지 숙제 못 끝냈겠지.
I wouldn't have finished homework by now.
I wouldn't have finished homework by now.
난 그 정도로는 웃지 않았을걸.
I wouldn't have laughed that much.
I wouldn't have laughed that much.
내가 하루 종일 집에만 있진 않았겠지.
I wouldn't have stayed at home all day.
I wouldn't have stayed at home all day.
넌 분명 못 알아차렸을 거야.
You definitely wouldn't have noticed.
You definitely wouldn't have noticed.
아무것도 바뀌지 않았을 거야.
It wouldn't have changed anything.
It wouldn't have changed anything.
넌 우릴 못 믿었을 거야.
You wouldn't have believed us.
You wouldn't have believed us.
너한테는 중요하지 않았을 거야.
It wouldn't have mattered to you.
It wouldn't have mattered to you.
별다른 영향은 없었을 거야.
It wouldn't have made a difference.
It wouldn't have made a difference.
쉽진 않았을 거야.
It wouldn't have been easy.
It wouldn't have been easy.
너한테는 필요 없었을걸.
It wouldn't have been necessary for you.
It wouldn't have been necessary for you.
너 없인 가능하진 않았을 거야.
It wouldn't have been possible without you.
It wouldn't have been possible without you.
그다지 아프지는 않았을 거야.
It wouldn't have hurt that much.
It wouldn't have hurt that much.
내가 그 약속을 까먹지는 않았을 텐데.
I wouldn't have forgotten that promise.
I wouldn't have forgotten that promise.
넌 내 맘을 바꾸지 못했을 거야.
You wouldn't have changed my mind.
You wouldn't have changed my mind.
그게 중요했을까요?
Would it have mattered?
Would it have mattered?
과연 효과가 있었을까요?
Would it have worked?
Would it have worked?
그게 쉬웠었을까?
Would it have been easy?
Would it have been easy?
그게 공정했을까요?
Would it have been fair?
Would it have been fair?
뭔가 달라졌을까?
Would it have changed anything?
Would it have changed anything?
그게 과연 필요했을까?
Would it have been necessary?
Would it have been necessary?
더 쌌으면 샀었을 거니?
Would you have bought it if it was cheaper?
Would you have bought it if it was cheaper?
비가 왔다면 너 취소했을 거니?
Would you have canceled if it had rained?
Would you have canceled if it had rained?
네가 알았다면 말해줬을까?
Would you have told me if you had known?
Would you have told me if you had known?
내가 부탁하면 네가 도와줬을까?
Would you have helped if I had asked?
Would you have helped if I had asked?